War fought with a sword and shield is much different than with rifles and grenades. With the ever-changing techniques and technology of conflict, Thomas Aquinas created 7 principles of war so that men could be able to keep their humanity in times of brutality. There are guidelines that state for one to lead a just war, they must be in a last resort situation, have the authority to officially enter a war, have a justifiable cause, have the probability of success, enter with moral intentions, fight on a level playing field, and leave civilians at peace. For centuries, world leaders and generals have kept these principles with them to achieve victory in a justifiable way. Many wars over the course of history have been fought over land, goods, or religion. From an American point of view, World War II is one of the few wars that could fit into the category of a just war. America officially entered in a defensive position with the primary intention to push the Japanese back into Japan. But our objectives shifted as we discovered the fierce tactics the Japanese used. When America entered the war, we had already proven that we could manage our economy and fight a war at the same time. We were an established superpower and had a fighting chance against the Japanese. Diplomacy was not an option. We could not turn a blind eye to Pearl Harbor. Otherwise, it would be a show of weakness. It was time for America to end its isolation with the global conflict. With the Lend-Lease Act aiding Britain, the majority of the American military could focus on the Japanese. As we progressed further into the war, our primary objective stayed the same, but our actions were barely justifiable. Carpet bombings, forest burnings, and the iconic atom bomb were all atrocities that we did during this war. We could not march into jungles of the Pacific Islands for fear of ambushes or hidden snipers, so that is why we did the forest burnings. Later on in Europe, we decided to start destroying factories and mills for food, so we decided to use carpet bombing. And the only way for us to force the Japanese into submission so that we could save millions of lives was through the atomic bomb. These actions may seem justified, but they are not, because they are not on a level playing field. They completely decimated the enemy, and for a just war to happen, that cannot happen. It also affected millions of civilians, and for a just war, that cannot happen as well. Although America entered the war justly, our actions and evolution throughout the war became more and more sinister. Our objectives stayed the same, but the way we carried out our business was very unjust. But all in all, we won the war, and this leaves us with a just war.